President Bongbong Marcos offers his quote, hand of reconciliation on the 37th anniversary of EDSA Revolution. The World Health Organization raises concern over the possible human-to-human transmission of bird flu. And industry projections indicate a fuel price rollback, but by how much? Let's find out later in the program. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Maricel Halili. We begin the newscast with the World Health Organization expressing concern over the potential human-to-human transmission of bird flu. To discuss about this, we have infectious diseases expert Dr. Ronjean Solante live via Zoom. Doc, magandang hapon po.
Hi, good afternoon, Maricel.
Hi,
yes,
Doc.
Just to give you an idea, the avian influenza is not new to us, no? And there has been report of this since 2003, and there are sporadic cases of what we call small number of avian influenza that has been transferred to human beings, and we're so lucky that it did not went into like a human-to-human transmission. But again, the concern now is that it is in Cambodia, and these two patients that were identified to have that H5N1 influenza, which is really from the bird, but it can rarely be transmitted to human. Now those two are infected. So again, the problem here is that if there's a possibility that it jumped from an avian and then it jumped to human, then there's a concern now that it may escalate, and hopefully it will not be as big as COVID-19.
All right. But sir, just a clarification about what you have mentioned about human-to-human transmission. What do we know so far about that? What are the possible symptoms, or how can a human get that particular disease from another human?
Yeah, that's correct. No, that's a very good question, because we rarely get to be involved with avian influenza as human beings, because we have what we call good immune defense against this type of virus. But in the event that it will be transferred from animals and then go to the human, then more or less, the most common way of transmitting it is that these people are exposed to these animals like birds, or they consume some of these animals without proper hand washing, without proper cooking these animals, and then it went to this to the human. And that's where human got it. No? So what are the manifestations of an avian influenza once it is transferred to a human being? So just like any respiratory infection, it's causing a severe type of pneumonia, and in fact it can be severe, where the case fatality rate is really very high, which means you have a higher mortality rate here without treatment. No? And that's really very important, that preventing transmission from an avian, from a bird carrying this virus, it should not be going to the human being, because there's no treatment for that and there's no vaccine for that.
I see. Okay. But since we already have a case in Cambodia, should we be concerned now here in the Philippines? What's the status of bird flu in our country?
Now, for now, it's not reported yet in the Philippines. We don't have any report yet of any bird-to-human transmission. We don't have any avian influenza. No, for sure, we don't have yet that particular at that level. But again, it's not also something that it will not occur in the Philippines, because the weather in Cambodia, the type of birds there in Cambodia, will also be the same. Setup by which we can experience that, no? And that's why it's important to really monitor this case in Cambodia, and like any individual who will be admitted in the hospital because of severe pneumonia, then there should be what we call contact tracing if there was history of contact with a bird or something, any animal that on that note.
Okay, Doc, just to reiterate your point earlier, to avoid transmission of bird flu, we have to prevent ourselves or to limit ourselves from prolonged exposure to fowls with that particular disease, and we have to make sure that maayos yung luto.
Yes, correct. We have to wash our hands, and if you are going to eat this type of animals or birds, then it should be properly cooked so that there will be really no contamination and direct transmission of any viral infection coming from animals.
All right, sir. On to the COVID-19 situation in the country. Doc, are you noticing any significant changes in the trend so far?
Well, Marcel, it's like that we are already in a better place at this point in time. If you look at the trends of the cases of COVID-19, it has significantly been stable. We're not reporting more than 1,000 cases a day. And of course, what we are monitoring now, Maricel, is the hospitalization rate. And I think our hospitalization rate remains very, very low, which means this is a good sign for us. And although a good sign, but we should not be complacent about it because there are still people that are highly vulnerable that can get the infection and develop a severe form of COVID.
All right. Doc, last point. I understand the Food and Drug Administration has already established or created a group task force which will evaluate the COVID-19 drugs that may possibly enter the country hopefully soon. What are your thoughts on this?
Number one, that's a good that's the work of an FDA. They should be the one doing that because all drugs that are under EUA and has a good activity against COVID, then that should be evaluated first before it will be available for the people. Number two, that also means that FDA is open to this drug, that it will be available in the Philippines, and once it will be monitored and it will be approved, then there's good access to this drug. And alam mo, Maricel, antiviral drug is as good as vaccines. No? Vaccines will prevent infection, but if we have infection already, that's where the antiviral drugs really work good in terms of benefit, that it will not it will prevent us from getting the severe form of infection.
All right. It's definitely a good development. Thank you for joining us this afternoon, Doc. That was infectious diseases expert Dr. Ronchin Solante. Several groups gather in Quezon City to commemorate the 37th anniversary of EDSA People Power Revolution. Justin Punsalang with the report.
A short program at the People Power Monument in Quezon City marked the 37th anniversary of EDSA Revolution. It was led by the National Historical Commission of the Philippines together with the QCLGU and Armed Forces. Several groups like Spirit of EDSA Foundation, August 21 Movement, and Chino Rosas Foundation also took part. Sister Mary John Manansan, one of the nuns who stood by the People's Revolt in 1986, was present in the activity. Wreaths were laid at the foot of the monument, followed by the traditional 21-gun salute. Iconic songs Isang Lahi, Magkaisa, and Handog ng Pilipino sa Mundo were sung while doves were released. Historian Xiao Chu said the People Power Revolution is a reminder of the power that the Filipino people hold.
Yung pagsasama-sama natin bilang mamamayan, pwede natin gamitin sa ibang paraan, sa pagboto sa eleksyon, sa pagpapalaganap ng tamang pamumuno, 'di ba? Sa volunteerismo na ginagawa natin sa araw-araw at sa patuloy na pakikibaka para mas maituwid ang ating lipunan tungo sa kaginhawaan.
Prior to the activity, the Bukluran ng Manggagawang Pilipino led by Calyori de Guzman held a short protest. While the EDSA Revolution managed to oust a dictator, de Guzman said he believes that it has failed the Filipino people.
Walang napakinabang ang masang Pilipino. Nagpatuloy lamang ang pandarahas, pang-aapi at pagpapahirap sa ating bayan.
President Bongbong Marcos joined the nation in remembering the uprising that toppled his father's regime. In a statement, Marcos Jr. looked back on what he calls a time in the Philippine history that divided the Filipinos. The president added that he is offering a hand of reconciliation to those with different political dispositions. For News 5, Justine Punsalang, we are One News.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Maricel Halili. The Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines vows to determine why the crashed Cessna plane flew over Mayon volcano. CAAP spokesperson Eric Apolonio said the area is not within the registered flight path as it is considered a no-fly zone. Apolonio noted, though, that strong winds might have caused the aircraft to divert to a different direction. But if the investigation finds lapses on the pilot's end, the operator of Cessna 340 may be held liable.
Tayong dapat na ay itingnan, yung weather, yung mechanical also. We'll see, makikita naman yan sa resulta ng investigation. Bakit napunta sila doon sa particular area na yun? Knowing naman na expert pilot ito at alam naman niya na may NOTAM.
Meanwhile, Kamalig Mayor Carlos Baldo said authorities were finally able to retrieve the remains of the victims. All 4 passengers were found dead on Thursday, 5 days after the plane went missing. Motorists can expect a rollback in the prices of petroleum products next week. Unioil Philippines projects that prices of diesel would be slashed by up to 1 peso and 40 centavos per liter. The oil company is likewise expecting prices of gasoline to go down by as much as 90 centavos per liter. For more updates, visit News 5, the Philippine Star, and Business World Online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Maricel Halili. We are One News.